talk to y'all about, but basically I was raising support and awareness for veteran cemeteries and the lack of volunteer work that happens there. I know that we volunteer with the environment a lot, and I got to do an environmental project with them that was very, very interesting and taught me a lot of cool stuff, so I was just going to share that with y'all. So this is a guy that I got to meet and work with. He is the one and only gardener for the entire National Houston Cemetery. His name was Guadalupe. He was a Marine veteran during Vietnam, and he said that this is one of the best cemeteries there is, but you can really see how much help we need. They don't get a lot of volunteers, and they don't get a lot of support for a lot of the things that they do, and so my project was just to raise awareness for that. So the National Houston Cemetery is part of the National Cemetery Administration, which was a branch of the United States Department of Veteran Affairs. There's over 155 cemeteries that they manage. They range across 42 states, including Puerto Rico, and while not officially designated as NCA until 1998, its administrative birthday is 1973 when Congress passed the National Cemeteries Act, and this created a legislation with an agency for Veterans Administration to oversee the National Cemetery System, which dates back to the American Civil War. So about the NCA, a little more information is that, again, they have 155 national veteran cemeteries, 6 of which reside in Texas because we are one of the biggest states. I don't know if we are the biggest. I think it might be Alaska.
Oh, it could, yeah.
But nearly 23,000 acres from Hawaii to Maine and Alaska to Puerto Rico are devoted to memorializing those who served this nation. More than 1.7 million people visited a Veterans Affairs cemetery in 2022, and 78,000 hours were spent volunteering at these cemeteries. 78,000 hours sounds like a lot of volunteer work and a lot of hours, but the Houston Food Bank already has over 120,000 hours for just 2024. So it really shows that there's a lack of support in some other areas, such as veteran cemeteries. So the National Houston Cemetery itself was established on December 7th, 1965, and it became the National Houston Cemetery in 1973 after the passage of the National Cemetery Act. It covers approximately 420 acres of land and houses, 111,000 graves. So if you think about it, back to the guy that I mentioned earlier, Lupe, he is the gardener for 420 acres of land. He takes care of all of it all by himself, which is a huge task. The environment is ever changing throughout the entire year, and he is out there every single day in all weathers to help keep it look nice and have all these projects that they have to do. And they just fall very behind on their projects because they don't have the volunteer support that they need. Next slide. So my project at the cemetery was to help them accomplish a project that they had been out of reach for them for a while. They have a lot of environmental projects because they like to make the cemetery look very nice. And my project at the cemetery was I designed and planted flowers at the entrance of the cemetery as a beautification project that would help the cemetery accomplish a goal that has been out of reach for an extended period of time. My project specifically was something that they had wanted to accomplish over 2.5 years ago, and so that just shows how behind they get on the project that they want to do. Lupe is the one that goes out and is able to water the flowers that I planted along with other flowers that they have at the front of the cemetery, and he just covers all the environmental grounds and everything at the cemetery. And so what my project aims to solve is that the National Cemetery and many other cemeteries that are veterans associated are understaffed and need volunteer help. My project is designed to be an example for some of the projects that people can help with, and to bring awareness to the assistance that the cemetery needs. The cemetery needs a lot of volunteer help. They have money, but they don't have people that are willing to help them. So if anyone does do a project with them, they pay for everything, and all you have to do is go help them plant flowers or go help them clean grounds or something. That helps the environment, it helps them, and it accomplishes something that's been out of reach for them. So areas of additional support would be pulling weeds in flower beds because they end up killing the flowers, which one, hurts the environment, but also makes Lupe's job a lot harder when he has to go and replant flowers, and he's the only one that's able to do that. Planting more flower beds and empty flower beds like shown on the right, straightening headstones, cleaning up the grounds, and just making the cemetery look pretty and nice. Next slide. So another example of a service project that doesn't quite relate to the environment, but this was my brother's service project that he did for Eagle Scouts. He built a lowering device storage unit, so this holds the things that this holds the lowering devices that lower graves into the ground, and this has been used for 3 years now. I think he did this 3 years ago, and it was a project that was on the cemetery's list of things he had done for probably 5 years before he was even able to get to it. So this was something that they really appreciated and something that he was able to help them out with. Other ways to get involved, these are things that we can do as volunteers in the community, is things like Wreaths Across America. This is something that just honors veterans, and just placing a wreath on every grave for people whose families can't go out and support them. And then National Day of Service. This already passed, but it was a really nice event that I was able to go to. And they have events like this throughout the year, more than just these two, that we can all just go and volunteer at and support to help not only the environment, but the cemetery itself. These are pictures from the National Day of Service. I just thought I'd add these. This was like straightening headstones. This was me like cleaning graves, and it was just a really cool ceremony and a really cool place to be to honor the veterans for 9/11. And then this is just an updated picture of my flower beds. They're still growing, but this was only like 1 or 2 weeks after I planted them, and this is at the National Day of Service. And then if anyone has any questions, I can answer them now, or we can just fill out my Google form on the next slide that has a spot for questions there as well. So if no one has any questions, then we can just go to the next slide and y'all can fill out my Google form.